Hi everybody, it's Red. I'm back with the French journal that I said was coming soon and then it didn't. I just got so involved in the book and the idea that it took me a little while, but I've enjoyed it and I hope you enjoy it too. This journal is hardcover and I decoupaged fabric onto the front. The corners are metal and it is a chunky monkey journal with about a 3-inch spine. It is tied with a ribbon, but you don't need the ribbon. It's not attached, so you can do what you want, leave it on, take it off, however you'd like to do that. But sometimes it's nice to have a little sash, kind of, so I just, tied it there. When you open it, you begin to see what I'm talking about. I imagined a French couple that eloped to Paris and then took the Orient Express for their honeymoon. And this kind of tells the story, and she liked fashion. So for the trip, she created her own coat, and she did it after she saw an article in a magazine. So this is the coat, this is the velvet and thread, and then the pattern. And this is a long tuck spot, so you can add quite a bit to it. And then this is a couple themselves, and this is from a 20s postcard, French postcard, that was an engagement portrait, basically. So you have a tuck spot behind it, and then there's the map of Paris, and then behind that is the train station in Paris where they would have come in. And these are pockets. And I added the pink cards so you can add to them or use something else, however you'd like to do it, but it just gives you a little pop of pink there and reminds you where the pockets are. And this is a piece of 20s lace, so it would have been from her dress, and a French love song. And if you've looked at Wendy's journals, I'm sure you have, they're beautiful. I love them so much. And she makes these pressed flowers in laminating plastic, and I loved them so much that I incorporated them in this journal too. So just stitched around them and added them to the book. So there is some flowers from her wedding day, and then it's pockets behind it, so you have a piece of ephemera in each to remind you or to use. And then in Paris you encounter street vendors, and this is a 20s art vendor in Paris. That's a postcard to give you a tuck spot behind it. And then this is a 20s postcard that I printed onto fabric to give you a long pocket. And because she was into birds, this is from a European bird book for a journaling card. And then you've got a big long pocket behind here and an advertisement. All of the writing in here is going to be in French with the exception of one page, and I'll show you that in a second. Because she loves flowers, I imagined that she collected them and picked them and that kind of thing. So I used a rose from my garden and stamped the paper with kind of a pearlized gold paint. I thought it was pretty. And then the 2 pages, I backed it with tea-stained paper, tea and Kool-Aid stained paper, one of my experiments, and made a pocket there. So you have a journaling card and a journaling spot on this side. And then this is a French love quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but basically it's when you love someone, you don't sit and gaze at each other, you sit and gaze out together. So that's basically what that says. And then this is another of the pressed flowers, and this one is not attached, so I can show you. I thought that was so pretty with the different colors, and stitched it down. And then a French painting here, and it's paper clips, so you could move the card there if you wanted to. And more of her French birds. French song, this is another love song, Speak to Me of Love. And then this is a French letter that I printed on vellum, and it flips. If I can get my fingernail under it, there we go. And then you've got a journaling spot underneath it. And that is the back side of that pocket. So you've got a journaling card here. And then you have a tuck spot here. And this is another French letter with a botanical and a bird. There's a tuck spot there. And then this is off of her necklace. And I like the peacock. I've used the peacock throughout too. It's very French to me. And created a little tuck here with the Louvre postcard. And you've got a journaling spot behind it. And then another shot of Paris and a journaling card. Some trim. And then a lingerie card. And more photographs, and this is one of her handkerchief pieces. And then the two of them together in the park on a bench. And she found a feather and she attached it, and a button from her dress, and then a ticket from the opera together. And it just slides in the corners here. So you can, if you're not sitting behind it, you can get it in there. There we go. And then you've got a pocket here made from an old handkerchief. This is an antique handkerchief that I imagine she would have on her wedding day. And I've kind of aged it up and all here and made a pocket out of it. And then this is the Eiffel Tower and some tickets, train tickets. And there's a little charm on the front too of a Cupid. And then this is a page from a French magazine from the 20s, and it is actually from the magazine. And it has a really cool crinkle to it. I loved the age of it, so I included that. And this is some botanical paper of hers with the birds. And then a map of Europe. And then this is the advertisement from the Orient Express. And in the 20s, it was the Simplon Orient Express. And this is all the places they went. And this one is a flip. So you have the train itself that flips up and gives you a journaling spot, and then you have journaling paper and paper here. And then you've got more places to journal here. And this is vellum paper and silk from a scarf, a little flower. And then I've stitched the lines here on my sewing machine. It gives it a neat feel. And this is a French letter that I imagine she would have gotten, and I stenciled it with gold ink. It's actually copper ink. And it folds out, and then there's a piece of her ribbon. And then there's a receipt from Paris. And more paper here, vintage paper. And then I created a belly band here, and it's a wide, tight one. I thought it would hold things better. And I wanted to include some fashion. So this is French Parisian fashion on the streets from the 20s. And vintage newspaper behind it, and then an advertisement. And I included a receipt that I backed with paper so you could journal on it or tuck in it or whatever you'd like to do. And then the peacocks. So this is a flip out, as you can probably tell, with the peacocks, and it goes like this. And you've got a pocket here with French writing, a little piece of ephemera to remind you that that's a pocket, and then you've got journaling spots, and then this little dressmaker's mannequin thing, you've got a journaling spot there too. And this is a, I believe, Turkish newspaper. And then you've got the train and a piece of lace from one of her gowns. And then I said there was English in here. This is the only English. This is from the train. They met a British couple and played bridge. And this is the bridge card. It has writing on it, and you can journal inside. And then they received a postcard from the couple later. And so you have a journaling spot there. And then just some extra journaling cards. And it's a big pocket, so you got a lot of room. And Switzerland, I had to include an advertisement of Swiss chocolate, of course. And then it is an envelope. And you've got a map of Switzerland. And I liked this little round paper clip, so I included that there. So you could move the envelope if you wanted to. And then you've got another photograph here and a journaling card and spot here. And what I did here is make this a doubled one. So you could hide a note in there if you wanted to. And then you've got some of the black paper that I love so much with the gel ink. It just pops, it's beautiful. And you've got vellum paper. And I printed a French poem, and this is attached with washi, so it could be removed if you wanted to take it out of the way, or if you wanted to move it somewhere else, whatever you want to do with that. Then we've got Venice on a paper bag, for everybody that loves that sound, and some lace from another gown, and Florence, and a journaling card. And this is Turkey. I liked all the guys lined up here. I thought that was kind of neat. And then you've got a envelope here, a little bag, and a larger flower, a little journaling spot that you can also tuck into. And a pocket. And then on the back, this is the Turkish market. And I created a little pocket with a journaling card there. And this is a piece of fabric from her suitcase, and a little portrait of her husband. And I'm sure that's very hard to see, but it is. And then you've got a tuck spot, a journaling card. And this is a bed from the train. Isn't that a beautiful place to sleep? Oh my goodness. So you've got a tuck spot there, and then Constantinople, which is Istanbul. A love letter from her husband with 20s die cuts. A piece from a book she was reading, a page, and some trim from a gown. A belly band from stamps from the Balkan region. Spice card. In Turkey there's a spice market, so this would have been a card, and a playing card from the train. And both of those are journaling spots. And then this is I keep wanting to call it a floating pocket. It's a flip pocket because it flips, but you've got a tuck spot inside of it. It's an envelope. And then a French poem that I printed in a kind of a gold ink there. And when you push the card all the way in, it's almost invisible. And I thought that gave you kind of a secret area. And you've got a pocket here with a map of some of the Balkan region. And you've got a pocket here that goes this way. And that's Croatia. And this is vintage wrapping paper. And you've got, I wanted to include Greece, so there is an advertisement from Greece from the 20s. Gives you a journaling spot, and trim from one of her coats. This is a Turkish rug with the peacocks. And I printed it on paper and just created a flip there, a little flower to put it under, kind of a embellishment, not really a button, but similar to a button. And then you've got a tuck spot under here. And this side you've got another envelope that can be removed, and I stitched the picture on with some silk and some lace, and then a little bird. And this is an envelope, so at the very top you've got the opening in here. And I added a label here at the bottom, so you can make notes if you use this as a glue spot. And there she is with a collage around her and a stamp. This is really old paper, and it's kind of a little brittle, and I liked that look. I liked the aging of it. I did stamp it, well, I stenciled it actually, and I used some ink that I had. And there's her birds and flowers and a button from her coat. And of course, this was a honeymoon trip, and she was thinking ahead and thinking of things to come. So this is a piece of embroidery that she did on her baby's dress. And this is a page from a 20s magazine with embroidery for babies' dresses and things. And I included that for inspiration or using whatever you'd like to do. And I used at the bottom of the dress here to show the embroidery and to use the scallops. I really like that. And it's backed on cardstock to make it a little firmer for you. And it's just a little journaling card. And then on the back you have a pocket that I made out of vellum that I coffee dyed and added some vintage trim. And you've got a journaling card inside with a Turkish market, and you can glue on the back or however you'd like to do that right on it. And you of course could switch it out or add to the pocket. And then here, this is a flip. I'll tuck that back under there. This is a flip out. I created it so that it actually gets kind of wide. So you've got a pocket here, and you've got a tuck here, a journaling spot here, and journaling here. And then when you tuck it all back in, you have kind of a secret place. If you pull the ribbon, the vintage postcard opens up to a journaling spot. So there you go there. And then on the back, you have a journaling spot. And in Turkey, they have, or they did anyway, acrobatic troupe. And so I included that here in this fabric with some trim and lace. And then you have a journaling spot on the back and more of the acrobats, which makes a tuck spot. And you've got a journaling card. And that's it. I hope you'd like it. I hope you enjoyed their trip. Kind of jealous. I'd like to go on the Orient Express now. And I hope that you take a look. I'm going to list this on Etsy in Red's Vintage Heart, and I will have a name by then, I hope. I've been trying to think of a name for this book, so I'm still working on that, but I should have it listed later today. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope I have something new for you soon. Bye.